The cost of insuring a home in many parts of the world is rising precipitously. In the United States, S&P says homeowner insurers jumped 11%. In the UK, the ABI says they're up 13%. It's natural disasters that are becoming much more common, putting pressure on homeowners and putting the viability of insurance into question. This is Bruce Carnegie-Brown, the chair of Lloyd's of London, who joins me now in New York. All right, I'm gonna get this off my chest. My Lloyd's of London policy, which is it's a beach house. It's not on the beach, but it's close. Went up 40%. 40. Why?
So I think there are three reasons, Richard, why your policy is probably going up in price. The first is the value of your property is going up in price. The second thing is persistent inflation is pushing up the replacement costs for your property, materials, and the building contractors. And thirdly, as you identified in your introduction, natural catastrophe disasters are increasing in frequency and severity. And this is having quite a big impact on the cost of insurance.
Now, at what point, we're reading stories in the New York Times where people are saying, I can't afford to insure the house. I just can't afford to insure it. Now, you're dealing with insurance at the highest level, oil rigs and nuclear reactors and the like. But as an industry, what point do you start getting worried that people just won't insure because they can't afford it?
Well, that is the problem. So it is important that insurance is both available and affordable. Otherwise, people don't buy it. And when you think about the maths in insurance, what's really important is that we are insuring unexpected outcomes. If the outcomes are expected, then of course the value of insurance breaks down because ultimately the claim and the premium are the same number. And so when incidents like natural catastrophes are on the increase, it's really important that we begin to build more resilience into our economy in order to make our homes, our buildings, our lives safer so that insurance can do its job, which is to pay the claims for unexpected losses.
The days of Lloyd's being a bit shaky have long since gone. Your balance sheet is extremely strong, and the reinsurance diversification of risk is tremendous. So, what worries you now as you look? Because you've got this institution in your hands, but as you look 20 years down the road, what's the biggest worry for you and Lloyd's?
Well, I think it's the breadth of risks that the world faces is one of the challenges. So technology risks that we see, natural catastrophe risks that we've just talked about, cyber risks clearly increasing, geopolitical risks globally. All of these things have an impact on the business that we underwrite at Lloyd's. I would go further and say I think there are three what I would call systemic risks that worry us a lot as we look out on the horizon, one of which, of course, we experience, which is pandemic. The second of which I've just mentioned, which is a cyber attack, and the third is climate. And when I talk about systemic risks, I mean risks that are too big for the industry alone to underwrite, and which require us to work hand in hand with governments around the world if we're going to protect citizens from the impacts of these risks.
So bearing in mind just what you said about the risks that you're facing, what does Lloyd's itself fit for purpose now? What does it need to change to be fit for purpose in 20 years?
Well, the important issue for us, of course, is to keep our cost base down. So more of the premium that you pay goes to provide protection to you. It's about innovation. What can we do to help mitigate against the risks that we see developing? How do we use data to be smarter about predicting the risks and where they will occur? So technology is our friend as well as a challenge when we think about cyber risks, for instance.
Sir, I think we need to come and visit you in your building, your rather exotic building that is still an interesting one to look at when we're in London.
You're very welcome.
And you can show. And the bell, mustn't forget the bell. I mean, I've only got my little bell here. It's the Luton bell, you've got the big one that you hit every now and again. No, don't worry, I won't ask to ring the bell. That means a big claim, which is awesome.
No, you're not allowed to have the bell rung.
We'll just wait till I get there. It's good to see you. Thank you.